make a siting decision and then do the studies to make sure it's okay, but at that point, it'll be too
We
late.
need something to study. The siting decision, if you will, is just a decision, an early decision to study something. That decision, again, it has to stand up to a very rigorous and extensive analysis. And that begins a very extensive community participation process where the concerns that I think we've heard and will continue to get
Okay, I guess my point is,
come out and get addressed.
I just want to, I know people in Marlboro seem to really want a train station. They don't have a good alternative. I just wondered what happened to that.
All right, when the feasibility of, when this one was studied, also extensions to Milford and to Marlboro were evaluated at the same time.
Right.
The Marlboro and the Milford ones were judged to be not feasible, while the one to Worcester was judged to be feasible. And the Worcester one, it was determined, again from this study.
Well, the study, when I read it, it sounded feasible.
Well, the one...
Okay, can I go on to my next point? Sure.
And we need to get other people in here. We're getting into a debate format now. I don't want to do that much.
Okay, let me just...
Joe, no, one at a time. Remember, so we can cycle around a little bit. Thank you, Rob. I'm not trying to shut you down, but I know you got a long list, and there are a lot of other people here.
Good evening. My name is Joe Mignani, 2 Harper Lane in Ashland. After the site becomes on House Street, I'll be your back door neighbor. A couple of questions. Are there any perks to the town of Ashland? Will there be anything that Ashland gets as a result of this, monetarily? Second of all, you asked the question to the people here tonight, do you want a station in Ashland? Should that be on the ballot? Should we put a question on the ballot? Do we want a train station in Ashland? I mean, I think we're putting the cart before the horse here, and let's find out what all the people want in the town. I mean, you only have, what, maybe 100 people here, maybe? Not even 100. And you're asking these people to make a decision. I don't know if the decision is going to come from the board or from what you're getting from the consensus from the people that live in the town. Is that a viable possibility?
Thanks, Joe. What about Joe's first question?
Which was
The question of monetary.
No, something coming back to the town. Yeah. Do we get anything out of this? Monetary.
Paul, have you called that person? I know that question came up a few weeks ago, and we gave Paul the number of the T's expert on financial assessments and whatnot. Did you have a chance?
I think that's still being studied, and the answers are kind of being determined at this point.
Are there any other questions out here in the audience? Vicki?
My name is Vicki Mancini, and I live at 84 Concord Street. And I've heard this question asked 3 times, and I'm going to ask it very simply. Who decides where the station is going to be?
I don't think there's a final arbiter for a decision like that. I think, again, we like a consensus. Within our organization, there's a whole series of decision makers. The MBTA staff, the general manager, the board of directors, the secretary of transportation, construction, state legislatures. It's a large decision-making process. There is no, shall we say, dictator that makes the final decision.
You're not going to get an answer.
I'm not going to get it.
I can't give you one, honestly.
So does the town, how much input does the town have to decide where it is going to be if in fact they decide that they want a station?
I would say a lot.
As much as you want. I think it's safe to say that the T is not going to ram this thing down your throat or any town's throat. It may sound self-serving from us, but it's not like we're proposing a incinerator or a hazardous waste landfill or something like that. Or somebody in Westbrook somebody in Westbrook had the audacity to say, well, that's like a prison. I'd rather have another factory. And they were concerned about cars. And, I mean, if you look at the MBTA map and you see the towns that have commuter rail, it's you have to decide. This town has to decide this for themselves. But most towns feel it's an extremely valuable facet and component of the town that makes the town a much more a valuable community. I know that's the way. I live in a town that has commuter rail. I've never taken it. but I'm delighted to have it there because it definitely improves the value of the town and my house, and, you know, looking at it just from that point. I mean, we think we're out here talking about a service that most people believe is a good, not only good, you know, to keep cars off the road and good, but it's good for a particular town. We can understand where somebody might not want to live right next to it, but it's generally good for the town. So you know, we don't feel like we're selling a prison or anything like that. And we're certainly not here. I don't think anybody at the T would ever say you have to have this. Everybody else wants it, and you have to have it too. I don't think we're here to say that tonight. We want to know if you want it and to get your feeling on it. We're here to listen to you.
I want it, and I wouldn't mind having it downtown because my dream is to be able to walk downtown, get the train, and go to Wellesley, where I work.
Garen, you were next. Then Jack, and then these two gentlemen.
Garen Bresnick, 39 Lockridge Lane. You've said that it won't be rammed down our throat, but when faced with a fait accompli of Howe Street, I think there are some serious problems. In other words, if that is the only feasible site, then I wonder whether the town wants it. And I guess my question is, if we decide, or if you tell us that Howe Street is the only feasible site from the MBTA standpoint, and we decide we do not want it there, what do we do to make sure that it doesn't go there?
Gentleman sitting right there next to you. But we're a state agency. I mean, we work with Secretary Taylor. There's a process through our board of directors, through the state legislature. It's a decision-making process, and it's a checks and balances. I think that we'd like to avoid all of that. That's why I propose I said before, we could have a task force, some group that we could work with, really explore this in detail with people who know the area better than we do. I think, and I would hope that a consensus would come out of the end of that process, and we'll go on to the next stage.
Ma'am, and then Jack, once you go to the microphone. Please.
I'm Alice Peterson. I live at 90 Howe Street. I bought that place in 1975 because I had my own little private forest, and the only neighbor was my next door with Larry Snow, and I could only see him in the wintertime because the trees blocked our way. Now they've widened Howe Street a bit because there's two side streets above me and two below me. Even though there's a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit, I have very seldom seen anybody, except neighbors who have children and understand, doing under 40. What do we have to guarantee that these people who would be, if we do get the Howe Street station, won't be traveling down there 60 miles an hour over that big, wide edifice of a bridge to make their way to the station on time? I don't think it's going to be safe for an old lady to cross the street to get to my mailbox now. I have had incidents even now with the street the way it is. So I'm concerned about the quality of life in that neighborhood. If you do put the station down there, can we have speed bumps or gates that people have to get out and open? I don't like the idea.
The town has to answer that one. It's our police force. The police force will have to be out there with radar coverage. Jack?
I'd like to waive my first round question and offer an alternative to a question, and that is, could we send you home tonight with a first night, if you will, consensus by a simple show of hands as to how many people favor a downtown 250 or 200 car station, how many people favor the mega station at Howe Street, and something in between on Pleasant Street, just a simple, tally of three shows of hands.
Jack, it's an interesting idea, but I would like to get some people to have a chance to ask the question. This gentleman here and then you. You had your hand up. I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Scoots Chajari, 198 Carterville Road. I've been a resident for 56 years, and I've lived on Carterville Road for 28, which is just about 50%. And I know a little bit about the town because I've been here so long. Downtown has always been zoned industrial, and the whole southern side of Pleasant Street has always been zoned industrial. And it mystifies me how anybody can think of passing up two industrial zones and putting 600 cars in a residential area. And I agree, it was spot zoned a long time ago so we could help the kids in the town with hockey. We put an arena in there, then it turned into Olson Medical. But now, essentially, what you're going to be doing is passing up two industrial areas to throw 600 cars into a residential A, and it just mystifies me, and I'd like to know how anybody gets to that kind of an idea in their mind.
John Friedlich from 21 Voyagers Lane. I moved here hearing a rumor there was going to be a station downtown.